Representative Mark Pody lead us in prayer, and then Corey Davenport will follow with the Pledge of Allegiance. Mark.
Please join me. Most gracious, holy Heavenly Father, I just want to lift up this day to you right now. Father, I lift up these commissioners to you right now, that you give them the wisdom to lead this county in the direction that you want. I ask a blessing on this entire county in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Be seated. Bobby, if you would call the roll, please.
Present.
Here.
Here. Here.
Here.
Here. Here. Here.
Here. Tracy Neal had just given you, remember last time we had two meetings. We had a recess meeting and the regular meeting, and she has compiled the minutes, which actually come from the tape recorder. So I don't know if any of y'all had a chance to look at it. Oh.
Make a motion to approve.
We got a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
We got a second. Kevin George.
Mark Parker.
Yes.
Yes.
Bob Hollingsworth.
Yes.
Yes.
Jim Bush.
Yes.
Kevin George.
Yes.
Dan Higgins.
Yes.
Tony Neal.
Yes.
Todd Smith.
Yes. All right, number 3, I'm going to just say this. Number 3, we have any committee reports. If not, then I'm going to give everyone a little bit of time to look at what was just handed to us. No reports from the committee. All right.
Hey, Mike. Remind me what that right there is. Is that what the from there? Okay.
That second page got any smaller, I don't know that I could read it.
That's the fine print, Bob.
Yeah. Mark, are you here for the whole meeting, or were you just gonna respond to this highway department, highway project?
I'm actually going to stay for the whole meeting, but I'll respond to that as well for you.
Okay, that'd be good. That way I don't have to mess up my agenda.
Ready to go.
Is that their end number right there? Hey, Mark.
Yes.
Is that right there their end number on the EMS? Is that their balance?
Yes.
159 is the balance.
You gotta look level one,
159, 862.
I thought so. It's a year-to-date total.
That's their balance.
It says ending in collection.
In collection though, that's in collection, just a minute now.
Okay. I'm trying to find their,
Get Ricky to help us.
Ricky, is on this, I don't know how to,
How much, Ricky, how much did you end up at the end of the year?
in your, like your fund balance. There it is, right there then. Is that, well, that's adjusted charges. I don't know how to read this.
That's minus, if you look above it, there's in parentheses, the 100,322.
Hell, didn't
That's the
That's a bad debt write-off.
bad write-off. And then above.
That's the
that,
ones that didn't pay.
And then up above that.
Gross net charge is 626,000
That's after the.
So that's the money that came in.
out of 800.
That was charged.
That you charged, and then they didn't pay that, so he wound up getting in 516.
Yeah. That's the way I read it.
That's charged. And that's his net income. And his net payments is 489. So his actual fund balance is 186, 468. Is that it right there above that dark line?
No, somebody else have to answer that.
Ricky?
What's ending AR mean?
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
AR's accounts receivable, see, that's how much.
So that adds back to it.
Well, if you get 100%, see the percent collection rate should go into that too. See, gross,
Well, I'm just trying to find the fund balance.
After everything's said and done, what was your fund balance?
What do you mean, fund balance?
What'd you end up with?
What'd you end up with at the end of the fiscal year?
That I don't know, I have to ask Diane that. All that is just money that, on the call that we make is money that they collect. Money that they expenditure.
That's why I couldn't find it then. It ain't on there.
yes.
I'd like to know that. This is the first year that we've done this with them, and I'd like to know, did we end up doing the right thing, or did we make a mistake? And it's hard to know which way we went if we don't know what the fund balance is. I don't either, but or I put it this way, I'd like to know how good a thing it really was.
We borrowed, revenue anticipation to get them started.
I know.
There, and we paid that back.
I'm looking for it right now.
I know.
Wasn't they in the hole?
I think 6,000 is what they said it last week.
Wasn't it 6,000? Yeah, it was roughly around that area, there was in the hole 6,000.
But we didn't, when we pulled the money, we didn't budget for the amount that the trustee.
That's so that was the
collected, and that was
Right.
almost a penny.
So that would have been, so they'd be
So
up
they
about
would've been
14.
up about, yeah, they would have.
It'd really be up about-
9,000
Okay.
instead of down 6,000. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that was much my fault, you know, I didn't think about the trustee fee.
I got
Me either.
bumped into gear. I left all that in my truck.
Would it be in this budget? No, because this
It'll be in
ain't.
the ambulance budget.
Yeah, it
It'll be in the ambulance budget. It's separate from this.
Yeah, it's separate.
I don't think I have that.
But we got it, so we think it'll work out this time.
I just wondered what the fund balance was.
They plan. It's about $6,000, and then if you get, that's because the trust, just like Todd said.
Okay.
I thought I had it written too, but I don't.
You don't want me to go get mine out of the truck?
That's all right. That's all right.
We're gonna make more comments.
That's one I'll be reading.
At number 9, we'll make more comments.
All right.
Okay. Everyone feels satisfied as far as being able to look over that quarterly report. We also have a quarterly report from County Clerk Bobby Smith, which it was here whenever we sat down for April, May, and June. Any questions for Bobby? Tracy Neal has helped us out, if you'll notice, that Tony had brought in one. This is right here. We get so confused sometimes on what we need. And we have the rules on the for the commission meeting, voting rules. The one this afternoon, I mean, the one that we will be taking on this morning is 2/3, which is at the resolution for the hotel motel tax. So that's number 3. That's for our own information. Something else to put in our folder. Mark, are you, okay, I didn't want to interrupt
No,
anybody.
no, I'm fine.
Okay.
You gonna recognize me at number 9? That's what I was waiting on.
Well, number 9, it is number 9.
He was,
I think he's talking about number 5, our Mark.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to follow the agenda as far as that goes.
Okay. Go ahead then.
I had a prepared statement here, but it's too long, so I'm just going to skip on it. It's kind of like it's a attaboy, let's go. This is our last year of the term from 2010-2014 for this Board of Commissioners. And today's Board of Commissioners have excelled in conducting the businesses of Cannon County for the benefit of our people. We have changed the way that Cannon County does business. We have created policies and protocols to use our finances. We have created policies in debt management. We have paid off large notes that have saved the taxpayers thousands of dollars for a generation of our descendants. We have done that and more, but there's so much more that we could do. We have created committees to monitor our finances. We have given authority to them to conduct business the way it is supposed to be conducted, with oversight and guidance. Our audit committee, which we have here with Glenn Steakley as chairman, our audit committee is working inside our government, looking at finances and the way that we do business. They're working hand in hand with state comptroller to make sure that everything is above board when it comes to the taxpayers' money. They have offered advice and solutions to the problems that have plagued us throughout our history. We have re-energized the Industrial Development Board, which we have here, the chairman, Randall Reed, while letting them conduct business the way it was designed for them to do by the legislature of the state of Tennessee. And these members have taken on the responsibility to take the politics out of business of jobs in the county. They've structured the IDB in such a way that its policies are followed. If followed, the board will only be stronger for the next generation. They are backed by an attorney that specializes in industrial development. They have taken money out of the local hands and have monitored by private businesses that specialize in accounting. And finally, they have hired an auditor to make sure that everything is in order for the state comptroller. We have managed the finances that allowed us to get a great bond rating, which is something this county needed, from one of the world's foremost money management companies. With this bond rating, we have been able to borrow money at the low interest rates because of the stability, again, saving the taxpayers a huge amount of money. The Commission has studied ways to save money for the taxpayer with the help of the state of Tennessee. The state has been involved with these studies and has offered well thought and tried and true methods of combating financial waste. The Commission have voted to bid out solid waste operations in a manner that was recommended by the State Waste Study Committee that was created by us, the Commission. There was a resolution that created the committee and its objectives. This committee, with the guidance and the professional solid waste consultant, made recommendations in written report to the County Commission that not only would have saved the taxpayer money, but would have also made the convenience center a safer place for our citizens. We have studied and made qualified decisions when it came to our solid waste and recycling center, decisions that would take the pressure off the county. Some of our decisions were not followed, and it has cost the county more money than it should have. But we have voted as a group for the benefit of the county. Currently, the county taxpayers are paying for 4 separate insurance plans: schools, highway department, ambulance service, and courthouse. By combining and bidding out the county employees' insurance so that the county have one, or at the most maybe 2 plans, one for the county and one for the school system, the county could save significant money like several other counties have done. And finally, as we're going to the final year of our term, we must realize that we have made some hard decisions in the past and will continue to make more of the decisions in the near future. This is not the time to falter. We must forge ahead and continue to do what we think is morally right and just for the people in our care. We have the ability, sitting around this table, to find solutions and act on solutions to make government admired and respected. You don't have to be a big government to do great things. This is the last year of this term, and I think that everyone here has done what they were supposed to do, what their constituents had asked them to do, and that's give them a fair government at hopefully a price that they can afford. So anyway, that is what I wanted to say to y'all at the start of this fiscal year. Number 6. This is approval of the private act for Cannon County on the hotel motel tax. We had a chance last meeting, at the recess meeting, to bring this up again, and I decided to move it until this one. We didn't have quite all the people, and we're down one right now with Kevin Mooneyham being gone. But last time we only had 7. So everyone we've gone through this over and over. We've voted to send it to the legislature. The legislature came back. We have got till December to pass this thing and then send it back to the legislature to enact it. Right now it's not meaning too much to Cannon County, as far as there's 2 or maybe 3 places that would have to collect this tax, and that is the Cannon Inn and then the Adams House over there on College Street. So you've read it, and I entertain a motion to pass the Cannon County hotel motel tax. Do I hear that motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve it.
Second.
Got a motion by Tony Neal and second by Kevin George.
Mark Barker,
Yes.
Russell Reed,
No.
Todd Hollingsworth,
Yes.
Jimmy Mingle.
Yes.
Jim Bush,
Yes.
Kevin George.
Yes.
Lynn Higgins.
Yes.
Tony Ronnie Neal,
Yes.
Bob Stuckey.
Yes.
8 for, 1 no, 1 absent. Motion carried.
Give approval for the farmer's market building at the proposed site. This is an especially charged proposition here. The money's already there. Grants, matching, building material, everything's ready to go. I believe, Russell,
I
okay.
ain't gonna say nothing. I ain't gonna change nobody's mind.
Okay. I had understood you had pictures.
I ain't gonna change nobody's mind. If anybody cares to take a look, them two make one. And that water does have a current to it.
Where in this right here would that building be sitting at?
Right out there and amongst that water, the stakes were underwater.
Yeah. Bruce
What I understood was that
Steelman, come up here, please.
there was, that
The stakes.
they had 4 stakes and that one of them was underwater and the other 3 were still out
That
of
pickup
water.
truck you see there,
That's, right there it is?
it's, one stake's on this side of that, and the other stake is on to your right.
Right in there, right out there?
And they're all.
Did you have somebody that had, you looked at somebody else, you have somebody that can have more information?
I know that Neil would have some more information on it.
It's a steel building, ain't it?
It's an open span, steel building.
Yeah, it's just like a pole
But-
structure.
That's what I
It's on
thought.
concrete
There's
floor.
nothing,
But
there's really nothing to hurt.
it's not a pole barn.
No, it's steel.
It's steel like the arena over there. is.
Yes.
Steel bolted to that concrete.
That's what I,
Electricity in it?
No.
Concrete when water gets under.
And if there is electricity in it, will be high, where it will not impede or be any issue from the standpoint of electricity.
I actually went right after you did when the water went down and
Put it on the pole like 5 foot high.
2 kayakers tried to make it down that.
Uh-huh.
And they ran into, yeah, they ran into across the river bridge. And one of them lost a kayak.
This guy was in
Everything that it had in it,
Afghanistan. He said he was more scared Saturday than he was in Afghanistan.
I think, I don't know what they call that, but if it's a 100-year flood plan that we have here, it could be, as I was told, it could be a flood once in 100 years, or it could flood every year for 100 years.
Now, for July, that is rare.
It is, it is.
For July. But
Right.
from about November on till about April,
Yeah, it's
that
wet
can happen.
season. Right,
I don't remember ever seeing it, but I don't go down through there every day either.
right.
Did it do it
I've
last year?
seen it up there.
Well, you know, it did get up, and of course, like you had said, that it had rained,
And it, well, we've had 30 inches of rain in the last month and a half.
We hadn't
It's supposed to flood.
Last weekend, I'm not sure what wasn't underwater. I mean, it was a very.
That was rare for July.
Yes, the
Recognize
county
name.
engineer, James Haley.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. Go ahead,
The
Neil.
county engineers designed this building. It meets the requirements for being in that location. The state engineer also approved the building to go in that location. If you notice, 75 feet closer to the river is the city's sewage pumping station. And that's been approved to be in that location. This is an open span building.
But it's
The way
built
supposed
up-
to not impede the flow of water, and I think it's designed to do that.
It's
Is it built up any?
It's built, the pumping station is built up about 6 or 7 foot above
Pumping
grade
station,
too.
No, the top of the pumping station is, but the bottom of the pumping station is exactly the same plane and actually lower than where this building is gonna go. The electricity comes overhead just like it would to this building.
The money, all of the money that's gonna be used for that is coming from the federal government or the state government.
USDA and.
We're not gonna have a
TDA.
penny in it.
We have $15,000 that's paid for the building materials.
If we build it and they use it for 1 year and it washes it to Murfreesboro, we got to use it for 1 year for free.
Where do you think the grant money comes from? We
I
all pay taxes.
I understand
even
that.
if it's federal.
And that grant money, or that tax money that goes to the federal government could have went to Memphis.
There ain't nobody.
And we
saying-
never saw a penny of
There
it.
ain't
But
no-
if we get to use that money for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, or 2 years, at least we got something out of it for a little while, instead of it going to Memphis or Detroit or California.
Right, they just don't say, hey, Cannon County, we got some money for you. We have to
Everybody
have
does-
people go look for
You
it.
have to go dig it up and find it and drag it home.
Well,
And
you know, nobody has said they don't deserve a place to have it.
We're just saying,
Move it
find a
up.
better place.
Just move the building up. Instead of leaving it in the hole, move the building.
Well,
I don't have a problem with building the thing. but
One of the
where
things
it's
on
at-
that, Jimmy, is we're looking at, I don't think that the farmer's market would really work anywhere else except for where the public coming by, and not Cannon County public, but I'm talking about White County, Coffee County, Rutherford County coming through, seeing it.
Look where Rutherford County is at. No, sir. It's
over by-
not.
over by Canonsburg.
It's out
Canonsburg.
Out there. No, sir. It's out there beside the halls,
Oh, yeah.
other side of TSC, at
On
Sam's
past St.
Club.
Yeah,
There on
it's,
the left.
yeah, they moved it out there. It's at the US. for the
I mean, I'm not even
USDA.
saying moving the location. I just mean move it up the hill.
Neil, isn't it up the hill pretty much so that just one corner would have been?
Halfway up the parking lot, and it's 2 legs, actually 5 legs, one whole side of it sits in the existing parking lot. The parking lot effectively is being extended at that same level, and that's where the other 5 legs go. It's no different than there's electrical poles all over this county carrying power sitting in the floodplain.
Okay, anyway,
USDA approved that site.
Absolutely.
And
Had to, we wouldn't have got the money.
Correct.
Yeah, it's been approved every step of the way.
thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Is
you,
this
Neil.
gonna be built above grade? How high above the current grade is it gonna set?
It will be built at the same plane as the existing parking lot. There will be fill in the field.
Okay,
And the steel sitting there paid for, ready to have a pad poured and bolted onto it.
I make a motion to approve.
we have a motion.
I'll second.
We have a second.
You ready to call roll?
No, I need a second.
I second.
Kevin made the motion.
Kevin made the motion.
Kevin and Mark, yeah, I'm ready to call the roll. Mark Parker.
Yes.
Russell Reed.
No.
Todd Ollinsworth.
Yes.
Kenny Mingle.
Yes.
Jim Bush.
I'm not against building this, but I'm against where it's gonna be put, and I vote no.
Kevin George.
Yes.
Lynn Higgins.
Yes.
Tony Neal.
Yes.
Bob Stetson.
Yes.
7 for, 2 against, 1 absent, motion carried.
Number 8, name a successor for Doug Beaudry on the Industrial Development Board. The board has recommended, and the reason why I put this down here, they have interviewed Burton Mason already. The board has recommended Burton Mason for the position. CTAS recommended to me that I put it before a vote instead of just actually, you know, they're the ones that know who they want on the board, you know, I mean. But we did put it in the paper after that, and if anyone wanted to, thank you, man. If anybody wanted to apply for that position, it was fine. Burton was an airline pilot. His family is from here, and they lived over on Adams Street. I don't know what else to tell you except for the fact that we do have the chairman here. Would you stand up and tell us why you made this decision for Burton Mason, or?
Burton Mason is a veteran, served in the Air Force. He from Cannon County. I understand his mother and father were active in Cannon County. What goes on? Burton currently owns a business in Smithville where he rebuilds airplanes. So he's been someone who's been in business, who's met a payroll, meets lots of people. You'll come in contact with a lot of people that own airplanes, and people that own airplanes, generally speaking, have lots of money. So those are the kind of people that we would be interested in and enticing to come to Cannon County. So Burton, I think, is a wise choice. He's a good man, he'll be an asset to our board. Thank you.
Thank you, Randall. Do you have anybody else in mind? Anybody? Well, then I would entertain a motion to
I motion to approve Burton Mason.
Clint Higgins, seconded by Mark.
Mark Parker.
Yes.
Russell Reed.
Yes.
Todd Ollinsworth.
Yes.
Kenny Mingle.
Yes.
Jim Bush.
Yes.
Kevin George.
Yes.
Glenn Higgins.
Yes.
Tony Neal,
Yes.
Bob Stetson.
Yes. All right, now I'm going to turn this over to the chairman of the budget committee to find out where we're at in this fiscal year planning.
All right. Well, the budget committee's been meeting for about, 8 weeks? And you got 4 of the others here with us. Kevin Mooneyham, who is absent, is also on it, and we have 2 citizens, James Atkins and Bill Jennings, that are on it with us. And you've also got the latest figures from the county executive's office, the bookkeeper, they were just handed out to us on last year's budget, how we came out at the end of the year. If you'll look down to year to date there on percent of budget, almost everything was under what it was budgeted. There's only a few that got up to 100% of their budget. But they turned money back, and we budgeted last year this is just for county general, 5.4 million, and we spent 5.1 million, right at 5.2. So it's about $200,000. So I commend last year's budget committee for doing a good job on estimating. Now this year we have just as hard a job, though. Last year we put the ambulance service over in their own budget, and we didn't realize at the time that they would be having to have the trustees' fee taken out of theirs. Well, that money comes out and then it rolls back over into county general. It doesn't get spent in the trustee's office, but that caused Ricky's budget to be tighter than we anticipated last year. But we've worked through that. The budget committee is also recommending at this time, tentatively, this isn't the formal recommendation because we haven't already voted on it, to fund 2 school resource officers. And that will cost us about roughly $100,000. And so if we're going to fund that, and we feel like that the citizens want that. There was a proposal at the very first to fund 7 school resource officers. We cut that back to 2. And the sheriff has been working with us. Most of the budget items that we've talked about are about the same as last year. We did, so far we have left in a 3% increase for the county employees. The sheriff's department is asking for about how much?
What was that figure?
Almost 30%.
180,000 more than you got.
180,000. The sheriff's department's asked for $180,000 more than last year. Now, part of that is for the school resource officers, maybe 90 of it. So he's asking for another 90 though on top of that. That is where the bulk of the increases will be in this year's spending, this coming year's spending. Right now, we're deliberating on how to fund the things that we've already voted to spend. And if you'll bear with me just a minute, in the last few years, we've been proposing to spend every year more than we took in. But if you'll look at the end of this, nobody spends all that they are authorized to spend. So we're trying to budget in a manner that we will keep the county government funded, but not get too tight. Now we've had a budget fund balance, a healthy fund balance for several years, and because of the hard times, 2009, 10, and 11, we ate into our fund balance, but we did not completely deplete it. But now it's gotten down to the point that we're going to have an ending fund balance if we spent everything, which we're not going to do. But if we spend everything, we're going to have $114,000 left in county general. That's not enough to do 1 month, 2 months payroll. We need about $200,000 to $300,000 at a minimum. The schools have asked for an extra 1.5 cents on the tax rate. And right now the schools are getting 86.5, and the school board has formally requested for 88 cents in their budget. And their budget that they gave us for 88 cents, what'd they say? they laid off 21 people in the last 3 years or 2 years, and their BEP money, which comes from the state, has been reduced again. But keep in mind, the only reason the state reduces their BEP money is because their attendance is trending downward slightly. But according to the director of schools, it's leveled off now. The biggest classes are gone, and the classes that are coming in are about the same size as the classes that are graduating. So it's basically going to be level. But one other thing that I thought was this is something that they brought to my attention that I had no clue of. We have 3,500 students total served, but we only have 1990 to 2010 students that are there all the time. We've got a lot of people that come in and go out in foster homes, moving in or passing through or something, that the state says we serve a total 3,500 students in a year. Is the director of schools here? I'm right about that, wasn't I? It's 3,500 students. So, and basically 2,000, there's 1,500 students that are passing through our system and get out and go to another system during the year, and we end up having to, when I say we, the school board, and we have classes, that's shocking to me.
Because you said the base is 19.
Well, it's 2,000. I think it's 2009.
2009.
2009 this year.
The base of it.
Is what the BEP is
Projecting
us to have, 2009, which in the last, that's, I believe, 8 or 9 students different.
So this could be migrant farmers, everything else, right?
I don't know who it is. Most of it, I think, are foster children, but I don't know. That's on the school zone. We're right now to the point that we are going to try to make a recommendation to the budget, to the whole commission before the next meeting in August. And we're going to meet again this coming Thursday night to try to finalize.
Not this Thursday.
No.
I mean, 2 weeks, yeah.
2 weeks.
A week from this coming Thursday.
25th, I think.
The 25th. Thank you, Tony.
Yeah, 25th.
The 25th is our next meeting, and we're trying to finalize it then and have a recommendation ready for the Coal Commission next year, for the next year's budget.
Now,
Right now, we're running on a continuing resolution.
Now, as Mark was talking about us taking up the SROs at the high school, the 2 there, keep taking consideration that the schools was paying the city of Woodbury for their SRO. Now the county's taking it up ourselves, which one of them will be a floater that'll be floating around to all the other schools.
They were paying that with a grant.
Right.
That was being paid with a grant for 10 hours a week. And when we asked if they would be willing to use that grant to help us pay for the SRO, she said no.
Right.
And you need to remember when you're looking at that budget that the SRO is a new line in the sheriff's budget, because the sheriff is going to manage that for the school system. The school system is who's getting all of the benefit out of that $100,000, not the sheriff's department.
That's right.
He's actually going to be having to manage 2 more people, 2 more payrolls, everything that goes along with 2 officers, plus all of the problems that comes with dealing with everybody's kids at the high school. And the school system's not going to have to deal with that. So it's not like we are not giving the school system anything. That $1.50 they're asking for, they're already getting a nickel from us.
Through the SRO.
Through the SRO. So I thought of that the other night at the meeting, and it didn't cross my mind until after it was over. When they say we're not giving them anything, we're giving them 2 people to help them with their discipline issues and whatever else they need up there with them, and they're not even having to manage them or anything. All they got to do is call Darrell and say, I need an officer at Woodland, and one of them will be there. So anyway, that's just a thought I had.
And the amount that Kevin talked about of the grant is very, very small.
It's 10 hours. It's just 10 hours a week.
10 hours a week. They're getting a great increase from 10 hours a week to 2 full-time. 2 people there all the time. The school's open, plus ball games, stuff like that.
That's right.
We have deputies that are there, but sheriff will be managing this. But in addition to that, he's asked for some more raises, and his employees are getting 3% already, the way we voted. But he's asked for some more increases, various and sundry places in his budget. I just wanted to know where the increases were. And, but I was glad to see that this last year's budget, we were spent 95.9, that's right at 96% of what we had budgeted. I challenge anybody to do any better job than last year's budget committee did and working with the department heads, Ricky Cope and the rest of the department heads. They stay on their budgets, and the county executive's office, staff, Diane, and them, they help them to make sure that at the end of the year that they've got everything like it should be, and we've worked really hard to correct any audit findings that we've had. We've made some changes to do that. But they work well with the auditors. The state auditors are always complimentary of the department heads and the staff, especially the way they work with them when they come to audit the books. That's where we are on the county budget. Did you have a question?
Yeah. The actual number, the $5,195,732, is that the book's closed, the year's done, right? Mm-hmm. So that's actually what we spent. We won't spend no more money out of the 12-13 budget.
There might be one or two outstanding bills that need to be paid that would be on it, but it's not anything significant.
Okay. See, one of the things that we did too, Clint, is that Mike had asked that no one after a certain time write any kind
and
of
the
check.
reason I'm asking that for is because the difference between what we estimated and what we actually spent was $222,000 difference.
Mm-hmm, but that's 95%, 96%.
That's what I'm saying. And that's the reason why shouldn't that number be at 100 if the books are actually closed? Well, I mean, if they're done, if they're
what is left, the remainder just rolls over into this next year.
Okay, so we come back better. The budget, the fund balance will be $222,000.
No, that's reflected in our numbers that we've already gotten. She adjusted them every time when we started the budget committee meetings. You know, the bottom line, it starts at a certain place, and she's adjusted that every time we met. As she got more bills in, for the last year.
These are the first three we had. You'll see
You got
the
one, Tony?
estimated fund balance. See how it's.
Yeah, the year before was what, 120, 26. What's you want to 126, 120? Yeah.
This is where we started.
Okay.
Before we got closer. Only 39,000. That's the last one. So it's
So all right. My question, Ben, we had anticipated the budget in fund balance being 125, and it was actually was 73. Is that what you're saying, or 39?
No, this is the newest one.
No. What was it? What was the numbers when we started? Well, my question being, if we figured 125,000 to be our budget, and we spent more than what we estimated, where's that money at being spent? Is my question.
It didn't get spent.
No. Did our fund balance start at what we anticipated it to be?
It was higher than that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we
By this amount.
It was our fund balance it ended up being $222,000 more than what we
didn't spend more.
Than our budget
we
was.
saved more.
Right.
So it came back bigger than we thought.
People turned in more money.
It's like it
than we
always does.
expected.
Right.
Okay, now that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the reason they're saying that we're going to be down to 125,000 is because that is what's letting us do the 3% pay raises and all of that, and only be at 125. If you didn't have that extra 222, you couldn't do the raises and all of that, even with a 5-cent increase.
And when you do raises, now that's forever.
That's right.
If you do a capital outlay, it's done
Pay
once
it off,
and then it's over. It's done once and over. If we go down here and buy gasoline to run the sheriff's cars and the ambulance cars, that's a one-time thing. It's in your budget. But now when you put in an increase of a salary, that will continue on. Gas might be cheaper next year.
All right, let me ask you this. Is there any report that shows what our estimated revenues are going to be?
Yes, and we adjusted them too. We start with the revenues on the front page of our budget worksheets. We start with the estimated revenues, and some of them were up One of them that was up was the personal property tax was up because Jones Brothers Construction, building the extension of the highway to McMinnville, they had a whole lot of Caterpillar machinery sitting out there. And if it's sitting there, and I think it's January the 1st, you'll have to ask the tax said, if it's sitting there January the 1st and they want to say that it's in Cannon County and be taxed in Cannon County's rate, then they pay us instead of whatever other county is sitting in. So it happens to be there. So that we got Donald telling us.
I'm not sure if they're on is around $6 million worth of property.
And was it about 60 or 70,000?
About 70,000.
That we, money, but it's not gonna be there next year, see, maybe.
I was told that that a lot of it was sitting in Warren County, and since our personal property tax was cheaper than Warren's, that
They drove
it across the county line.
That's okay.
Which really helped us. You know, if I'd have known they was doing it, we'd went and helped them drive.
When they get through that road, it's not gonna be there.
That's right.
So we can't always count on that, but it's there right now.
It was sure handy to have this time.
And another, this doesn't have anything to do with the budget, but I'd like to bring this up again because it has to do with the county's finances. We're one of the few counties that puts no property tax money in the highway department. The highway department is fully funded by motor fuel tax, gasoline, diesel fuel. When you buy highway fuel, it goes to the highway department.
Mineral tax.
Mineral severance tax, and some other small things, but we don't put any property tax in it. Most other counties do put some property tax in it. The highway department is going to have, I'm going to say 6 new miles of road that's heavily traveled road. Of all these people that live on Highway 70 to the county line, they're not going to move over on the 4-lane. They're going to keep using that road. Now, yes, the trucks and stuff like that are going to be on the other road. The people from McMinnville that are heading to Murfreesboro are going to be on the new road. But we're still going to have a lot of traffic on the old road, and the highway department will now, the state will not take care of that road anymore, so the Cannon County Highway Department will have to.
Right.
And
I know some of the prettiest land you can get is an old state highway, to where all the houses are on it and everything else.
But that's where we are on the budget. We're meeting on the 25th again, and we will come to the next commission meeting, I think, with a recommendation of what to do for the coming year.
I appreciate that, Mark. Any more questions for Mark? I thought that was really good.
Since Mark brought that up about the highway department and gas tax, okay, the legislature has changed their direction as far as all the money from the sales tax of gas going to the highways. Am I not correct? Wasn't it put in the general budget of the state?
About 5% goes into the general fund, 95% goes into the transportation.
I know, but when Governor Bredesen was in there, did he not change? Because see, after he did this, our county got cut, our percentage because of the moving of the monies.
Okay, I can't speak for what Governor Bredesen did, but I don't think it's changed.
Well, what I'm asking you is if you would check on that, because see, that's our monies that we should have, and that's what it was designed for, was to do highways, bridges, and you know, it's a valuable part of our financial structure.
I can check on that for you.
Thank you, sir.
Any more of the budget committee members want to say anything? I certainly appreciate working with them. They're doing a good job.
Okay, we'll move to number 10. Discuss the solid waste contract entered into by county executive and Pemberton Trucking. Now we have here Mike Pemberton and his wife, and Wayne, his father-in-law. We have Mike Gannon here, but Mike Corley's not here. Mike Corley, I had asked at the last meeting, I told you that I was going to ask for an opinion from the county attorney on whether or not that was a valid contract that entered in between Pemberton and Cannon County. And he come back with what everybody that looked at it says that it's not a valid contract. It has to have the approval of the county commission. We even went back, I had CTAS look it up, and it came back that they had Attorney General's ruling on this back in 1988 and 89 for Cobb County had the same kind of problems that we had here. So the problem is that we have a invalid contract. Now, Jim, I think Jim had talked with you, Mike. Mike, would you stand up? Mike Pemberton? He said, I was told that you had bought a new truck because of your, because of the upcoming contract that you had. I mean, I realize that people in business, they don't want to go in business for 1 year and try to buy equipment. They like to have 2 or 3, 4 years like that to be able to depreciate vehicles and different things like that.
Yes, sir. I've got to have dependable transportation to do it on a timely manner, to do the job properly for the county that it's got to be done. When the trailer gets full, this is a transfer station. There's no other place to put it.
Right.
It's transferred from this car to this semi. It's got to go. To do that, I've got to have dependable transportation. My truck's been without a contract. My truck's just got old. And
right.
It's time to update equipment. And yes, sir, that's what I did. I updated my equipment.
I'm trying to lead the commission in a way that we don't want to take you or anything personal out of the equation. One of the things that I have would recommend, that I have to recommend to the commission, is that we have an invalid contract. Somehow we're going to have to make a valid contract to be able to go over here, and we're going to have to restart a bid processing, which you're welcome to bid.
What is invalid about this current contract?
The contract is that the county executive does not have the authority to enter into a contract, especially
without approval.
Without approval from the county.
But if we approve it
commission.
today, it'd be fine.
Yeah, that's what he's doing
Let's
now.
approve it.
If we approve it today,
Bring it
then
to us
it'd
to
be
approve it.
fine.
Yeah.
Isn't that right?
He bid it. It was in the paper and they bid it out. Let me say this, that I've probably kicked and stomped about this solid waste as much as anybody. And my issue with it was the fact that it never was bid out in the paper and give everybody a chance to bid on it. And it's been bid out. He didn't write up a 10-year contract or something like that. The one that he's in, I've read it. The one that they made, it helps Mike, but it also kind of puts us in a good spot, because if fuel goes up and doubles in price, we've locked in on the price on the haul bill.
Mm-hmm.
There's no surcharge on fuel.
I mean, he's taken a lot of the risk in this, and if the only thing that makes it illegitimate is the fact that we haven't voted on it, then if anybody needs time to study that contract, we just need to put it to the next meeting and study it. If you don't, we need to approve it so he can go on with his business and we'll be done with it. That's Kevin's opinion.
Could I explain the procedure we went through?
Go ahead.
I think you should.
Yeah, okay. Kevin, different ones that talked to me about bidding it, and the reason I haven't bid it before I did is because of the price increase. As you know, every year we were running basically out of money, and y'all were putting money out of county general over there. So, and I figured it would go up. Now, as far as gas, I was told yesterday that they expect gas or fuel to go up 30 cents in the next month because of the Egyptian crisis. We're safe. Old Mike Pemberton, he's going to have to eat that. Now, there's a reason I wanted a 3-year deal. Number one, it's easier to budget. We know every year what our set costs are. Number two, it protects us from things like the Egyptian crisis, where gas is going to spike possibly 30 cents. Went up 9 cents yesterday. I believe Corey Davenport told me. So it stabilizes our budget, and it takes and it makes it easier on us. Now, what I did, I met with the auditor and I said, the commission wants to bid this. What do I do? She said, you write down everything that Mike Pemberton does. Don't you write a thing down that he doesn't do, and don't you leave anything off. I said, okay. So I did that, and I showed it to her. She said, well, run it past the county attorney. I did that. He said, looks good to me. I said, well, of course, he can word things better than I can, so I said, if there's any words need to be, I had relocating, he put transfer, and a few minor things like that, but there is the responsibilities of the hauler. And that's what he bid from, is this right here. And I don't have a one copy with me, but I'll be happy to run everybody a copy and mail it to you if you like. But here's where I run it in the county courier. Auditor said to run it in the local paper if it goes all over the county. Well, they also have a website that goes everywhere. You know what? So they ran, my understanding, Mike West ran it on his website and in the courier. And there's the request for proposal, and that's the way I was told it worded. It says the County Solid Waste Department will be accepting proposals for the transportation of solid waste from the collection site of County to Allied Waste Incorporated in Walker Hill, and it goes on down. At the end, it says for a list of duties and responsibilities for which proposals are sought, contact the county executive's office. I was required to run this 1 week. We ran it 2 weeks. Because I didn't want nobody. So the day of the bid opening, this is not required, but USDA makes you do this. If you have a bid opening, you always have an attendance sheet. Everybody that attends the bid opening signs it. So I wanted to do that just to cover us. And here's the attendance sheet with the bidders below. And in attendance, when the bid was opened, Bobby Smith, Donald Preston, Shirley Young, myself, and Diane Hickman. And we only received 1 bid. That was my Pemberton Trucking for $300 a load. There were 3 people interested. One, I don't know who he was. He didn't give his name. He never picked up a package. The second one was, well, I won't call his name, but he was real interested. He come, talked to Diane for an hour. He got him a package. He called me at home, talked for an hour. And I thought was turning in a bid. He never showed up. So Mike was the only one turning it in. So there's the bid tabulation and the attendance who was there as witnesses. And if I remember correctly, I won't say for sure, when I opened this bid, I think I handed this to Shirley Young, or one of them said, you read it. That way I might not have, but I think I did. But there's the bid sheet, or a copy of the original bid sheet where Mike signed at $300 a load. In the requirements, one of the big issues is insurance.
Is what?
Insurance.
Insurance.
Liability insurance, and we required in the bid package, we required $2 million insurance. Here's his proof of insurance. Like I said, I'll be glad to give anybody a copy. I don't have access to the copy machine today, but if you'll tell me, I'll mail you a copy. Here is the solid waste contract. Now, according to what Bob said, he's correct. This is supposed to be approved by the county commission. I wasn't aware of that at the time because in the past, every other contract was never approved by the county commission. So, and we started the budget, and I got busy, you know, and then CTAS is the one I called and said, are we supposed to get this? Called Ben Rogers. He didn't know. The auditor didn't know. She just said, bid, and she followed me through this. So everything, she's great with it. So then he told me, said, yeah, our attorney says you need to get this approved. So I didn't know it till, well, it's been a month or so, I guess. So I called the auditor and told her, and she said, well, go ahead, said, have them approved. So there's the actual contract, which is exactly like what Mike bid from. Only difference is, here's where we signed it. All right. Now, one other thing we did do, although our hauling went up a little, because he hadn't had an increase in quite some time, our hauling went up a little. In 3 years from now, I got a feeling tires are going to be higher, fuel's going to be higher, insurance is going to be higher, labor's going to be higher. I really think the 3-year deal protects us. This is Allied Waste contract, or it's not a contract, it's a disposal agreement. And I don't want to toot my own horn, but I guess I will a little here. We were paying $35.90. We were in, and I studied the 14 Upper Cumberland counties. There was counties, Smith County has their own landfill. They charge their sister counties $33 something to bring it there. In Smith County and all, but we were right in the middle, 35.90. There were some paying, well, we were probably on the higher side. There was a few paying more, but the majority was paying a little less. So I got with this Jerry Burt, I said, "You got to do something. We're drowning up here." So and it took us a few months, but he got the brass to lower it from $35.90 to $29.25. That will save us about $40,000 a year. So we're in that really helped us, and I call it BFI, but it's actually Allied Waste. Now, I really want to commend them because they really didn't have to do that. I got nowhere else to take it. They could have said, "No, dump it in the holler up there somewhere, pay you $35.90, but they didn't. He worked with the brass wherever they're at, and he come back and said, "We can do $29.25. Now we're trying to work it out. DeKalb County's looking, they're closing their landfill. And the county executive up there said, "Please, whatever you do, don't never open the landfill. You don't want it." But they're closing a part of it now, and they're going to open to close the rest of it later. And he's trying to work a deal with Jerry, with Allied Waste, to take his there also, and then he'll be bidding up trucking and similar to what we got with Mike. But that's exactly what happened. I apologize for not bringing it before you. I wasn't aware at the time, when it first come up that I was supposed to, and I would appreciate your consideration on this because this is the first year, we finished in solid waste with a fund balance. We sold over $20,000, I believe, around 20, I won't say over, around 20 in recyclables. And most of that is scrap metal. We're getting a real good price for scrap metal and cardboard. Now, I can't get anything for plastic and glass, but I know Mark's wife and my wife, I know we've discussed this, they haul our plastic to Murfreesboro. If I could just figure out some way to collect that and give it away, would be great, because that diverts it from the landfill. And I'm working with Cumberland County now, and I think Clint and I are going to go up and meet with them when I get a date set that suits his schedule. We're going to go up and meet with them, and if they'll just take it, that would make us money. Of course, it's not good for Mike Pimpton because there'd be less to haul, but it would be good for the county because we would have less to take down there. But Mike Pimpton don't go over there and hook to a truck and haul it to Murfreesboro. If you think that's all he does, I would ask you to go up there and spend the day when we have a breakdown. He does far more than that, far more. I got two men working, running a program for 60 hours a week, and they're not mechanics. I'll put it that way, they make $8.25. Two of the lowest paid people in the county. Mike oversees all the maintenance of our trailers. If I got a trailer that has to go to Murfreesboro to be welded, he has to take that free. He doesn't get a penny for that. And I don't have a tractor, so I can't take it. He takes it, drops it. When it's ready, he goes back and gets it and brings it home, or whatever, hydraulics or whatever. And he oversees any maintenance on the compactor, all of that. He does far more for this $300 a load than you realize.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank y'all.
There were two guys and other people in the county that were after me all the time about wanting that bid. And when that came out, I saw both of them. Neither one of them wanted any part of that after they saw what you had to do.
Right. Well, we're certainly, Mike, we're certainly not against you. I'm certainly not against you hauling as far as that goes, but we do need to be able to have it legal, and hopefully maybe we can do that today. But one of the things I do have, Mike, you had mentioned this, and I have a little bit of problem with this, because you said that the auditor or the CTAS told you to write up exactly what you want Mike to do. Because that almost seemed like a specific contract for Mike and no one else. I mean, you know.
The auditor told me to write up his duties.
That's what I mean, his duty.
What he does now.
The responsibility of the hauler.
He didn't want to bid something that was less than what we're already getting.
That's right.
Or more than what we're already getting.
And it wouldn't have been fair to Mike.
The reason she said that was because everything he's doing now, we don't want to hire somebody else and them say, "Hey, all I got to do is hook that truck there. I just drive it. Y'all attend to the rest of it." We didn't want that to happen at all. That's why she said that, because make sure all of these duties are specified in the contract, and that's the way it was.
Okay, this other company that had bid on it, you said that they were.
It wasn't a company, it was a
individual. Okay. They went by this responsibility of the hauler. Okay. All right. What I want, the reason why this is all here is because that we need to be as legal as we can be. We need to be correct whenever we do things as far as that goes, so nothing comes back on us. But we also voted to turn this over to a committee, and the committee came back with recommendations on what to do. So we need to honor Mike's contract of the 3 years, but whoever might be able to be on the commission at that time needs to look at that Mike Gannon says that, you know, there's a lot of problems that go with it. Well, if we bid it outright or re-privatize it or we do this, then we're taking that responsibility away from Cannon County. We're taking that kind of money away from Cannon County having to pay. When you have somebody that's going to go in there, modify it, and run it for a profit, then they're going to do everything as efficient as you talk about taking glass. If they can make money on it, they're going to do it. So they need to look at that because we've already had the committee selections. Now, I reckon probably the vote or the way that I should say this is that the county executive already told us that he had made a mistake on it, that he didn't know, and that's fine. Now we can move on. But we need to word this right, saying that we will now honor this new, the same contract, but we're going to ratify it. I mean, we're going to make it right.
Just make a motion to approve it. That's all we need to do.
Yeah. We got a motion, Clint Higgins.
We don't need to ratify anything. Just make a motion to
Second from
approve.
several people. Kevin George, I think, had one.
Art Barker.
Yes.
Russell Reed.
Yes.
Todd Osborne.
Yes.
Henry Mangum.
Yes.
Jim Bush.
Yes.
Kevin George.
Yes.
Glenn Higgins.
Yes.
Tony Neal.
Yes.
Bob Stepson.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Before we get off this, Bob, let me ask one thing. I know we've got a committee to look at redesigning or what's the convenience center as far as make it more user-friendly. I know there's some older people. Of course, Auburn used to have a dumpster that come in twice a month. They couldn't afford it, so the city quit doing it. Well, I know there's some older people that cannot back. Once you pull up there and back it in, and there's probably some younger people that can't too. Are we anywhere in that process? Because I know I brought a load this morning from the older people over there at home.
I'll tell you what we're doing right now. They're instructed, Mr. Bill Moore, and I don't think he'd give me using his name. If you know him, you know the shape he's in. My guys are instructed, if you have to, walk all the way to the gate, get it out, throw it away far on. Now, that's not a permanent solution, I know that. Money's the issue. The thing at Auburntown, that was paid for by the city, and they had to cut. And, you know, they had some money issues, so they had to cut that. I wish we could, and this is a dream thing, I wish we had about 3 other locations scattered around the county, like Warren County, DeKalb, and Rutherford, with fenced in, but that's very expensive. You gotta have somebody to man those things. If you don't, you have dead cows, you have paint, you have stuff that you can't take down there. So you gotta have a person hired there. If we just had one on the north side of the county and one on the southern side, because that's probably the 2 furthest distance, but that's in the future. I know we don't have the money now, but.
Well, I know that would be ideal, you know, but of course we know that
If the county paid for it for the citizens of Auburntown you're talking about?
Well, we could do that, and that would be good, because Auburntown's a little bit unique compared to the rest of the county because of that bad hail, especially in the winter. We could put 2 dumpsters over there and contract with BFI and let them pick it up, just for the north side of the county. I would like to do that. That would
See what that'll cost.
Yeah, well, they should give their own dumpster because they're going to be using the service.
Even with the dumpsters, though, you're going to have something to man it to keep people throwing it in the dumpster.
See, Auburntown City paid for that, and I think we might have contributed. I think we contributed to it. But then, of course, everybody outside the city was using it. You see what I'm saying? They were paying for it, but the whole Auburntown area, Auburntown's got 250 people, so a dumpster would last them a lot longer than it would. And most of the people that were upset were people that actually lived outside the city limits. I had nothing to do with moving that. I wish we could put one back tomorrow and us pay it, because it is county garbage. And keep in mind, everything that goes over there doesn't come up here, so it cuts down on their traffic flow up here.
But even this up here, you know, if you had it where you could circle it.
You're
And
right.
What about all the tree brushes and limbs that's down there? There's a flat
we-
area there is that necessary?
No.
What I think you're getting at is
That
if you
was
had a,
started several years ago before I come in office. We didn't do that before. It's a burden. Here's the only reason I hadn't stopped it is because people that live in town are subdivisions, what do they do with it? That's the only reason. It's a burden to the county, but it is a.
But it's a service for the
It's a
citizens.
service
That's
for the
what we need.
citizens.
what I think
Do you
you're,
think you might be able to give us a report, look into it and give us a report at the August meeting on this? Because
Can he-
on
he's looking at making a
supplying some kind of containers and service to Auburn County.
I tell
What
you,
I'm-
in my
wife
judgment,
couldn't
if
back
we
up
had a
to say
conveyor
that.
belt where they could pull up, where
I
several
see,
cars could
yeah.
dump at one time at the bottom and have a conveyor belt that would carry it, drop it in, that would be safer, it would be quicker, it would get people in. Now, I could get Jimmy Haley to send his engineer up here and see if we could, with the existing equipment, see what, and give me an estimate.
Well,
what it-
Anything you do that keeps anybody from standing up on top of that,
Yeah.
it would seem to me that after what we've had happen up there, we wouldn't want anybody up there no more. So-
That was a Cadillac in its day, but its day was around 1980. So most Cadillacs that were made in 1980 are worn out now. So that.
They're
the
antiques.
design is
They're
great in
antiques.
1980.
What?
Got 20s on them.
Hey, I'll do that and I'll report back to you. This is,
All right.
And we still have the committee, don't we? That was designed?
Yeah, Thea.
Yeah, okay, Corey.
Is the wheel tax sticker tied to your ability to dump garbage?
No, but the county, but the county sticker is,
Resident.
yeah, resident of
Okay,
Canada.
either one, I can't tell you how many times I go up there and dump my garbage. I car after car after car after car.
Well, see, the sheriff, I mean, it's like Mike said, the employees are paid $8.25, and I don't know that they're gonna stand up there and say, you cannot dump, and I don't know that we put them in that position to where they get into an argument.
People that come in here dumping garbage for their mom.
Most of them that have out of county, anytime.
I've had coffee containers in my truck for 4 years. I mean, I don't, they're just where I bought the truck and it's just, it says Coffee County.
Or they'll
But you
say,
get the
well, my
wheel
mother
tax sticker to
lives
go with
here
it.
and I'm bringing her garbage.
And
So, I
also
mean-
the gate.
So
Yeah,
that's
the
my
gate,
point.
I know, I've seen the gate
I've lived
open
here,
before.
there's never been no
Closed a long
question.
time. Okay, do what?
That conveyor belt, something
Conveyor
at
belt,
the
it
bottom.
sounds like a good idea.
I'll
Sure
get you,
does.
I don't know if it'll work, but I'll get you a report back off.
Worst case scenario, you have a dumpster at the bottom there, everybody that can't back in, they can dump it right there and you can carry it up to the top.
Well, you can always put for handicap, just put a sign for handicap.
Right, if you had a dumpster at the bottom where you could take your trash, people that don't want to go to the top, you can dump right there, and then you take a piece of equipment and carry it up there and dump it in.
Dump it in.
You can
Okay.
figure something out.
Well, you can take those
All right.
type A elevators and do that.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure UPS has got
Well,
several thousand.
he'll give us a report, and if he does ask Haley, they'll have some. Let's move on. We have, we just have one scheduled last one, and that's discuss the bypass project for Highway 70 around Woodbury. 2 weeks ago, I had Brother Alsop came up to me and another person, which I can't recall the name, they said, the commission is the one that's supposed to say which way the route goes, north or south. And I said, that's the first I ever heard of it. And they said, well, ask Mark Pody. So I called for Mark Pody, and he answered it. And he said, yes, the commission is the one that makes the determination. Now, forgive me, okay, Mark? I'm going to let you speak on this. We didn't even ask for that highway. I mean, you know what I mean? And now, when you look at it, if you look north side there and you put some kind of highway to where it's going to be interconnected with the ones that are coming from the north, that's not where the population of Cannon County is. Cannon County is south. So if you put it there, you have just made everybody in the world mad. So after we hear from Mark, keep this in mind. I propose that we give this to the Planning Commission. I know it sounds like a sellout, but that's exactly why we got the Planning Commission, for them to look into it. Because if we're going to be expanding, which I don't know if anybody knows it, but the city sewer can't take any more stuff. I mean, it's full. They'll tell you when you go to the meeting, how many can you handle? We can handle 20 more toilets, and that's it. They're done. You know, they're in violation at that time. So when we start making a bypass here, I guarantee you people are going to be able to, they'll be building, they'll be selling land, they'll be doing this, and maybe they'll have something. However, people are worried, and I am too, about Woodbury drying up. And then I was told, you know, if all we do is sell like the old
antiques and stuff.
Yeah, antiques and stuff like that, people are going to find us. But that's not all we do. Anyway, Mark, if you would, when did this come in that we made the decision which way it goes, or has it always been that way?
No, it has not. And I don't want to mislead the commission. What I had asked from TDOT about a year ago, or when the commissioner was here, what their plans were to connect the two highways. And they said that we got more plans out there that are approved, and then our funding will go for it. And they said in Cannon County, we don't have a clear direction which way they wanted to go, so we would need the leadership of Cannon County to direct that. We would need something from Cannon County, whether it be the county commission, a referendum, or whatever, before I'd be able to push it. So when I'm looking for direction from Cannon County, you are the leaders of Cannon County. So if you wanted to go back to a referendum or whatever, I would need something to go back to the TDOT and say, here's what Cannon County wants, or they don't want it at all.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Now, the taxpayers can't are not paying for this in a sense. TDOT, don't they have an idea of which way logistically will cost them less money to route that? Because, like, say, if you go north side, it may cost more. If you go south side, it may cost more. They're the one who's going to be footing the bill for this. Don't they have a preference of which way they want to go with it?
Yes, they did, and they actually did some of the design work on the southern route. However, they have said that they've been beat up so many times by local counties or local cities saying that TDOT rammed this down their throat or whatever, and they said that they don't want it. And they said as long as we've got enough counties and enough cities that want what they're already telling us, we're all at 100% approval. We're not getting into a controversial issue. We've already got enough ones that we don't have funding, so we're just going to go with those. So the question I had to them was, what would you need to consider Cannon County? You know, how would we get this up to a higher on the list? Because we're not even on the list. And that's what they said. We would need direction from the locals saying that this is what we would be wanting. So the only thing that they're doing is saying, if we had direction from the locals, if they said that we would like it here or there or whatever, then they would reconsider. Even the environmental studies that they did before, they said they're probably out of date of what they've already done, so they would have to come back and redo them. It doesn't even have to be done. If the county doesn't want anything, it's just going to have two roads, and that's where we are. Right now, we're spending about $30-some million in Cannon County. You know, right this year, by the time it's going to be done, you know, middle of July of next year. I think we've got 7 or 8 projects going on right now. But
so if we don't want it, it'll just tie in.
It's going to hang. It's going to stop. There is no plans for it to be connected at this point. It's stopping there, and for the administration, that's where they're going to be holding until the rest of the state's done, until they got all the other ones done. As a state representative, I'm supposed to be fighting for the county. All right, so I want my county to be raising up, but I got to do it at your direction.
Right.
So
we appreciate that too.
We need to have what we need to do is advertise for a public hearing.
We do.
And sit right here and let the people tell us what they want.
Oh, like I say, we need to put the planning commission in there too, because actually they're going to be, hopefully they'd be advising us. Your dad's still on the planning commission?
You talking about county planning or city? Does the city have a planning commission?
Evidently not. I mean, city's got, we'll certainly invite them, you know.
I thought they had a planning commission.
They do have a planning commission, but it's not, it does nothing.
It'd be affecting the city more than it would the county.
But the road isn't in the city limits.
The road, yeah.
This road is not in the city limits?
No, the bypass would
The
be.
bypass.
The bypass, if it went south, it would.
On middle, if you came through the middle,
I
it'd be in
know,
the city.
but you can have a public hearing, and that'll give us an idea of what people want. If you don't have a public hearing, then every landowner between the end of that road and the end of this road on both sides don't get the opportunity to say, I would like to have it, or I don't want that thing running through my place. And I read somewhere that you You can't have it on a referendum vote. Which a referendum vote, the problem with the referendum vote is you've got people all over the county voting on something that only affects a few.
Yeah.
With a public hearing, those few have a voice and get the opportunity to tell us how they feel and what they think and what they want. And apparently, we're not in a really big rush. You don't have to have an answer tomorrow if we're not on the list at all.
Not-
So why not set up a public hearing, advertise it for 2 weeks in the paper and put a few signs up here and there?
Sounds a good idea.
And then we know, and then we end up here voting on something that,
Voting blind.
I don't want to vote,
Yeah,
I'm not
it's-
gonna vote blind on it, because where I live and where my family lives, it's not gonna make any difference to us one way or the other.
It won't until Manchester, till Highway 53
Turns
joins
into a
up.
4-lane.
Yeah, joins up with that highway.
That's right, and so, and that still, for us, we'll jump on it. It won't matter to us either way, and I would rather know what people on
And
this
that's
side
why I
of the
think we also have the city here, because it is gonna impact the city big time.
If I remember correctly, when they done the original design from Murfreesboro to where it stops now, and that's been a long time, they were designed to come up to where Chalongo's is now.
Right.
It was Ray Smithson's body shop then. They were gonna turn left, cut the side of that hill out, and go through the industrial park over there where the jail and all is now, and come out somewhere on the other side or somewhere about the existing co-op. And if I remember correctly, there was a big uproar about bypassing town. You're gonna kill it. So the road stopped where it's at.
There's gonna be a big uproar,
Oh, I know.
either place you put it.
You
But
already hear the one I raised.
if you wanna have a real uproar, don't let the people have a voice in it.
Amen, amen.
Well, in a way, Kevin, but indirectly, it does affect you. It may not affect you personally, but it affects the county.
That's what I'm
in
talking
which
about.
you're-
Those,
which you're in.
but
I mean,
nothing
I'm
affects.
concerned with what's happened to the county overall. I mean, the city even. The
Well,
city of
actually, you would
dies,
think over here would be
county
the better
dies.
spot, because you get access to the interstate and everything, and when they build that 4-lane, like he's talking about, to connect it, what's that gonna do about bringing in business?
Logistically,
You
makes
know,
more sense that way.
they'll have better access to the
That's
interstate and
right.
everything right
But
there.
the people in town will say, well, yeah, but you're gonna stop all the traffic that normally would have to come through town to get to it.
Here's a
That's right,
question.
the ones that are going to Murfreesboro
How
or
much
Lebanon or
business has John
anywhere
Bragg
else.
brought to this county? How much new industry has John Bragg brought in here? That was the big selling point
Yeah, it
in
was.
the late 70s.
Yeah,
It's gonna open up the county to new industry.
yeah, you have to have a direct thing, access to the interstate before you start doing
The only thing
that.
it's done, it's helped people leave the county faster.
Help them get to work.
What used to be a 30-minute drive to Murfreesboro is now a
15 minute,
15-minute
yeah,
drive.
yeah.
We didn't have a crane, we didn't have crane when it was built.
No,
Dollar market, we didn't have that.
Son,
It has helped, it has helped some.
they finished it in 88 or 89.
Well, it's made the
89.
drive, made the drive to Murfreesboro much safer.
Oh, yeah,
Put it that way.
that's a pretty
Yes.
drive too.
How many people have been killed on it?
Well, now, we had, what,
And Mount Herman
Mount Herman's in
and Double Springs.
or the double barn.
we had fatalities on
Don't
that
know,
highway
bro.
before it even opened up.
Yeah.
Right there at 64.
Anyway,
Thank you for enlightening us on that, and we'll include you in on the discussion with the people.
I'm here to work for you. I can't push TDOT and this
We'll
until
get you some direction.
we get some direction from you.
Yeah.
How long
Okay.
would it be before we're on the list?
If we
start
had
today?
something, I would be pushing on them tomorrow, okay? But it would be, we're talking 10, 12 years before the project would even be done. I mean, this is not gonna happen quick. It's a long way to go. But if we don't start something, it's still gonna be 10, 12
Right,
years.
it's still gonna be a long way to go.
Bother him with, don't matter which side it goes.
Bobby is still be in office.
They see us, we can get us a huddle around.
Tell you what,
Okay,
let's
all
take
right
it
then.
through Auburn Town.
We'll mow this over. I want you to mow this over, and then we need to be able to have a time that we want to, we need to get through this budget process before we start anything else.
I got some notices I need to.
Okay, that's right. We do have notaries here in other business, and they are Stephanie Wilson, Kenny Gilly, Tammy C. Nichols, Geneva Fox, Rachel Parker, Sue Patrick, Francis Taylor, Hansel Ray Cook Jr., Stacy Dean, Jamie L. Nave, and Carolyn Jennings. Any?
I make a motion, we accept.
I second.
All right, we have a motion by Mark, seconded by Jim.
Mark Barker.
Yes.
Russell Reed.
Yes.
Todd Osborne.
Yes.
Jimmy Dingle.
Yes.
Jim Bush.
Yes.
Kevin George.
Yes.
Lynn Higgins.
Yes.
Tony Neal.
Yes.
Tom Stepp. Motion carried.
Thank you. Another business, we have Tony Neal, 4th District.
Sue Patrick contacted me and she wants to name a bridge, and the county highway department doesn't have a problem with it. It's not a road, it's just a bridge. She's wanting to make a memorial bridge. It's off Hills Creek Road. It's the road right after you pass Wayne Hancock's house, if everybody knows where Wayne lives. She's wanting to name it Lehman Powell.
Mitchell, yeah.
And and
That's where he lived at, right there.
So you want to speak?
Hey, see.
Oh, that's fine, that's all I want to do, is the bridge going to my home place, and I wanted to name it the Lehman Powell Mitchell and Hicks Roads Mitchell Memorial Bridge. It's on Mitchell Smith Road. Bobby Smith has property back there, and us, it's a public road, and I just wanted to name that bridge after my dad and mother.
Yeah, that's not the one that went up to your place, was it? Is it the one that goes up to where you lived at?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be.
Okay, so I mean, it's completely off the road. You just want to be able to.
But that's a public road.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I make a motion that we.
Now second.
Mark Barker.
Yes.
Russell Reed.
Yes.
Todd Osborne.
Yes.
Jimmy Dingle.
Yes.
Jim Bush.
Yes.
Kevin George.
Yes.
Lynn Higgins.
Yes.
Tony Neal.
Yes.
Tom Stepp.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. One of the things that I want you to think about, we're not going to vote on this, but it is something, because it is under a business, other business. But we're having another raise on the general sessions judge, another mandated raise. And the only way I know to be able to take care of that is to add that litigation tax again. We did it last year.
Do we raise it?
We raised it. Cynthia, do you remember?
We put so many
What it
taxes
was?
on last year.
The reason I don't remember is because we did something for the sheriff's department.
Right.
Jail litigation tax.
I think that was $5.
Right, that was out of, yeah.
They did a booking
fee, and then.
We added something for the clerk's office.
We had to do
circuit
something in litigation, you know,
we added every
we've added
lit
so many
tax we could
things on
think of.
Yeah, you might want to
Last
think
2
about it.
years.
I'll check up on it and see exactly what it is that litigation tax for, to pay the judge there.
Oh, another thing, you're talking about the litigation tax. When we was going through our budgets, it was brought to our attention between the circuit and the general sessions courts, it was $326,000, Mark.
I believe that's right.
That was generated last year.
Wow. Well, they stay busy, I know that.
Some fees, yeah,
get the email
some of
about
the
that
fines and stuff.
Mhm. How much did we get out of that? The 300, so there was
About
more than that
40,000.
went. More of that, part of that went to state, and then we got,
No, but it's cut up in different areas
Our
of the
part was
county.
300 something. The save wound up getting more than what we originally thought they were gonna get out of their little dollar per case,
Yeah.
didn't they?
Yeah, they get, yeah.
That's good.
yeah, we had set up for.
We haven't heard anything out of them.
Just a drop of the budget.
Huh?
Still just a drop.
Did she come ask for more money this time?
Not yet.
No.
That was the best thing about that, is that made us have.
Mark, can you put that in the back of your mind when you start looking at the final budget?
Yes,
Type
we'll
deal?
try, yeah.
It's something that might be able to inform. I appreciate everybody. This was a good commission meeting, and I appreciate everybody's professional demeanor and everything that we had to do. Clint?
No, he didn't have to make. If I could, would anybody be in objection to starting the meetings at 5? I know it would help me and help Jim as well, to starting the monthly meetings at 5 on Tuesday night. Anybody have any issues with that?
I don't have no problem.
suit me.
Yeah.
Get home.
Yeah, I have no problem with it. Are
Will you
you?
be- that make it where you can
this
get here?
before-
Yeah, that's why he's wanting to change it so he can come.
We absolutely.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
that
we
would- that
we
would make
appreciate
it-
you being here.
That would, that made me get to bed earlier, instead of, that's another hour of sleep that I would get. So, yeah, because starting at 6 with meeting in at 8, I'm getting 2.5 hours of sleep. So, but at least they give me 3.5. It ain't enough, but I can function on it. Once a month ain't no big deal, but yeah.
Let's have the August meeting at 5 o'clock.
Yeah. Did you get that, Cynthia?
I got it.
Got it. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh,
What happened to me being on the agenda?
You told me last time for you to be on the agenda. I completely forgot it. Step up. This is man that owns Short Mountain Market.
uh-uh. You sure? It's just 90 days up?
Evidently.
Okay.
He has a right to come before the board
Every 90 days.
every 90 days to ask
Cause the
about the
beer board
distance
deferred.
between
Hearing it.
selling beer and the church. Come on, step on up.
Thanks a lot.
Since our revenue's down, and they're taking 5% from your gas and that, I can sell more gas and everything with selling beer. I can hire more people instead of laying everybody off. And like I'm saying, from when that law was passed to the DUI now, punishment is more on it now than what it was back then.
Say what?
The punishment for DUI now is more strict now than what it was back when they first passed that law. But now we're raising our property tax because we ain't bringing in enough revenue. You're making more of a burden on these taxpayers right now when they ain't working as much as they were.
We, that distance is something that the county came up with or the state?
State.
State
That's state
mandate, yeah.
maximum.
Then,
But the
sir,
county has
what you need to
authority.
do is get some kind of petition going for the state to change
I
that.
got a
No, sir.
petition. When
The
I brought
county-
that petition up here,
the
you know
county
what
has
you
the
did?
authority to change.
You referred me over to
The beer
Jim
board.
Bush right there.
Right.
Right here. Y'all want a copy of this and read it?
Now,
It
I
says
tell you
right
what,
here,
you're not
cannot
gonna
be-
get nowhere
Well, it
getting
says it
angry.
cannot be deferred to the beer board. I was deferred to the beer board.
We made our ruling.
Like it said, right here, it says you cannot do it.
Don't you pass that out?
We made our recommendation
So what,
to the
do we
county
need to vote on
commission.
it every 90 days?
If he brings it before you every 90 days, we'll have to vote on it every 90 days.
I make a motion not to change it.
Well, it needs to be on the agenda.
Huh?
Put it on next month's agenda.
Put it on next month's agenda and we'll vote on it.
Okay.
We still have a motion to adjourn.
I don't know why I was deferred to them when it says right there,
Well-
cannot be to the beer board.
That's
The
who
beer
I,
board cannot change
The beer board is a committee that makes a recommendation to us, just like the,
Right there. It's
just
right
like
in
the
beer
budget
board
committee
law
makes a
book.
recommendation.
Right there it is.
We
That's right,
understand.
and we are the ones that vote on it. We referred you to them, they made a recommendation and we voted on it. And every 90 days, you can bring it back and we'll vote on it
We're
again.
not gonna refer you to the beer board again. We're gonna put you on the agenda in the August meeting and we'll vote on it again.
That's all I'm.
Okay. Then
Put him on the agenda, Bob.
Be sure and put you on the agenda.
We still have a motion to adjourn.
yes, we'll put you on the agenda. What is your last name? Harvey?
Harvey.
H-A-R-V-E-Y.
What's his first name?
Oh, yeah, Ralph.
Ralph Harvey. I've been up your store, I didn't know your name. And this would be on amending the distances.
Right.
All right.
This is just for my information. How much we close that church in the west?
What did you measure that?
The ne-
800 feet.
It's the next building over.
I know that both of them is, I live on the same road, but I wondered how much too close it really was.
That was a graveyard. How close is it to
I'm
that
probably
graveyard?
close to
graveyard's
900
closer
little
than
Yeah.
the church.
That's a public gathering.
2,000.
2,000.
He's got the.
Graveyard don't count.
Well, what is the
Yeah.
300?
Place of public
That's
record.
That's the city, I
That's
think.
the city.
That's what I like.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
I know what that
You got it.
Definitely
Next
place.
meeting, you're on the agenda. Got it right here.
Well, gather at the river, yeah.
Pardon me?
I didn't know.
You can change that amount of feet.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, we can.
Right.
We can. No.
No, and we have, no.
And an individual puts some. hay in
There's
their
a
yard,
cemetery
Which you can
there.
do in Cannon
How
County.
close are you to the cemetery?
You can
You
bury
measure
them in your
that?
yard.
Because if that's a public gathering place, that'll affect you as
That
well.
right there,
And
last
if you do
person
that,
been buried in there was
It's
1960.
still,
They got
it's
nothing to
still,
do with
There ain't even
still,
a parking spot right
it's
there.
still not regardless.
Then we just tried
That's,
600 feet.
then that's 600 feet. Man.
600 feet, I'm under.
We adjourn.
Like, you're on the agenda, so we'll see it on.